Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the new podcast, Talk Time with Mumkey, the only podcast where I go through the last week in events and updates and things I've been working on and just generally what's been going on with the Mumkey Boy the last week. I was not expecting so many people to be into this show, but I got a lot of comments on the first episode giving me some support, saying, hey, I like this idea, this is a good listen. I look forward to hearing more of these in the future. Also, speaking of that first episode, whoever would have thought that such a benign podcast, just a guy in his room alone, talking about, the things he'd been up to on Twitter and YouTube, who would have thought that such a podcast would be the focus of such controversy? Especially my first time out, the first podcast ever of this show. So much controversy that I even had to post an update video like 6 hours later. Both of which, and I think there's some sort of, I'm not going to say the name because it's a demonetizable offense, evidently. But there is a footwear upon cranium conspiracy in the works, folks. Because both on that last podcast episode, as well as the update video that I posted the same day, both of those videos were demonetized, even though neither one should have been. I mean, heck, I've had videos. My recent love survival guide was not demonetized, and that has, bestiality, cussing, everything bad you can imagine in that. That's not demonetized. But these two little podcast videos I did were. And I think the reason why is because both of those videos included a certain keyword in the title that may or may not be similar to footwear upon cranium. So I don't know. I think YouTube might have it out for perhaps a certain person or people who discuss a certain person. Because if you have that word in the title, I don't know, you get demonetized. I don't know why. No idea why. That's a demonetizable offense, but, there you go. What do we have on the agenda for this week? A whole bunch of stuff. I had 2 monumentally successful videos on the main channel. The first of which was a huge endeavor that took over a month of work, and the second of which, a much more popular, much more successful, much better received video that took me about 20 minutes to make. But let's talk about them. As you know from last episode, I was pretty worried about the love survival guide. I thought, maybe this isn't as funny as my other work. I'd been working on it so long that I was sort of desensitized to it. I didn't really think it was all that great. But the audience reaction was surprisingly very positive. I've got a lot of people saying it's the best survival guide so far. Personally, I would disagree with that, but I'm glad that, people are so into it and that they're excited about the next survival guide, that got set up over the course of the story. And people like the story. I was worried that it was too story heavy and didn't focus enough on the jokes, but people seem to really like the little, the skits, the story that went along with the video. And I'm glad, because that's the sort of stuff that I want to do. I want to keep a whole new ideal of lore, continuity, story continuity between videos. I want to do more of that stuff like I did in the old days. And it seems that people are really into it. So I'm glad. I'm glad it's all working out. And then, of course, the video ends with the warning of a mass shooting. And then 2 hours later, lo and behold, down in Florida, about 6-hour drive from where I live. So maybe it was Jumpkey. Maybe not. Who knows? Lots of conspiracies in the comments section on my interview video, folks. Lots of conspiracies. And I don't think all of them are joking. I think some of these people are taking it a bit more seriously. Lots of false flag accusations down there in the comments section. Obama's not even in office anymore, folks. Why would there be a false flag to take away our guns when conservatives, Republicans control all 3 branches of government? Your conspiracy doesn't even make sense. But of course, there is a shooting down in Florida. I think 17 people slain. Might be a higher number by now, because a lot of people are still critically injured in the hospital. And I instantly get flooded with comments. Not people saying too soon or like, oh, this joke was in poor taste, but people celebrating that I am some sort of soothsayer who predicted the next mass shooting with my stupid comedy video. And I'm like, oh man, like, how do I respond to this? You know, like, do I just post like a funny tweet about it? And I did have a few, you know, funny tweets making fun of the shooter, because this kid was pathetic. Like, he didn't even write a manifesto. First of all, like, if you're gonna commit a huge crime, at least write your life story down so then I can dissect it and milk it for 4 years. He doesn't do any of that shit, as far as I know. One person commented saying that he wrote a manifesto, but I could not find it. So I don't know if that's true. But this loser kid, you know, he decides to seek his vengeance. And then I get an email from that girl, Alex, saying, hey, I watch your videos. You know, if you want to get some information about the killer, because I know him, just hit me up. And I think, oh, wow. Like, what are the chances? I mean, I guess, you know, of my 164,000 subscribers, a good 90% of them are probably kids in high school. But what are the chances that one of them went to the school, didn't die, wasn't the killer, and also wants to, you know, within fucking 5 hours of the shooting, has the wherewithal and the courage to, you know, want to be interviewed and talk about it. And I was really blown away by this person, this Alex person. We talked a lot more than what was just on the interview. And she's so well-spoken and so sophisticated for her age. And she really brought, you know, a lot of light into a story that was really murky and dark. And what I mean by that is, like, there a lot of things, you know, you can read all these articles with all the stats and stuff, but you never really get like a clear picture of what was going on for these students. So I was happy that I could talk to somebody who was actually there to actually, you know, find answers without typing them into Google, like without typing the question in. So that was great for me. And people are really responding to the interview, and I'm glad. I think, you know, that's a point of view that you never get. She told me that she was, when she was trying to find her mom, you know, after the shooting, she was berated by like CNN and MSNBC or whatever the fuck. Like, before she could even find her parents after the shooting, she had these reporters like blocking her way, trying to ask her questions and shit. And of course, all they want is like the 5-second soundbite, just to push whatever agenda or whatever point of view they're trying to, you know, get. They want you to say the same shit that is always said after one of these things. Like, watch any given news report about a shooting, like where they interview the students. It's always the same exact stuff. Like, it's just a kid saying, oh, I can't believe this happened. It was so scary. I hope it never happens again. This shouldn't happen. Like, stuff that doesn't even need to be said. Everybody already knows that shit. It's on everybody's mind. You're just throwing it in there for the sake of it, you know. It's the same shit over and over again. So to actually have a 15-minute conversation or so with somebody who was there and actually get their full experience, I thought it was, you know, fascinating to hear. And I'm really glad that I had that opportunity. And I'm really proud of Alex too, for coming forward and having the courage to say all that stuff. So that's probably one of my favorite videos that I've done. And I just asked the questions that I was personally interested to hear, you know. And I'm glad that a lot of the commenters were interested in those things too. And I think there's a goddamn plane flying overhead. Something loud outside. All right, so that's the Love Survival Guide and the interview video. What else we got? Oh, this week was, you know, unexpectedly productive for me. You might have noticed, because I posted and tweeted about it, that I finished writing the Elliot Rodger new book. God damn it, I can't even think of my own work now. I'm so overworked over here. I got so many things on my plate. Diary of a Supreme Gentleman. Finished writing it. That's a huge achievement, you know, for me. A lot of the things I did this week were behind the scenes, things that you're not going to see for a while. I cranked out the rest of that book. I've done a whole lot of recording and editing of the Pokemon Nuzlocke. I think I'm like 3 weeks ahead now because I've just been working on it so hard. And I'm sort of obsessed with it. I keep looking up stats about like the upcoming totem battles and like trying to strategize hardcore to figure out how I'm going to get past it and all that stuff. So I've been doing a lot of work on that stuff. I wrote the script for my next video. The next big main channel video, I got the first draft out, which is good. It'll hopefully be out next week. So I'm making good work on that. Still no Young Sheldon this week. I think Celebrity Big Brother is still interfering with the new Young Sheldon release. But I forgot to announce this last week, but there is another podcast coming out on this channel where I am being forced to watch a shitty show episode by episode. This one will be far worse, as far as I can tell, than Young Sheldon, because it actually does have a laugh track, and it's about something that I really don't care to watch. I saw previews for this new show on CBS, of course, just like Young Sheldon and Big Brother and all that. This new show called Living Biblically, about a guy who decides to become a better person by living by the Bible and following every rule in the Bible. And all the previews are just god-awful, no pun intended. They are humorless, but still shove a laugh track in your face. I imagine it's going to be very pro-Christian ultimately, which, you know, tip my fedora, I don't necessarily care for as a moral or as a storytelling device, a strong Christian message. So I tweet about it and say, hey, you know, if this gets like 100 retweets or whatever, I guess I'll review this show episode by episode. And of course, within like an hour, I have those retweets. So now look forward to, I have to review every episode of Living Biblically. I can't even say it. And that'll be the new show that I do on this channel, along with Young Sheldon and this one, and Is It Kino? Got so many, you know, little easy podcasts on this channel now. I hope you guys like listening to me stumble over my own words and say a lot. Look forward to all of that. Oh, I've got a big problem. Maybe you guys can help me out. Maybe you guys can give me some advice, because I don't know what to do. And that problem is I have way too much mail. Way too much mail. As you may know, on my main channel, I have a show called Mumkey's Mailbag, where it's just me opening fan mail and making jokes and having fun and dancing around and playing with all the things I get. And I only wanted to do it maybe like 4 or 5 times a year. But now it seems I have to do it at least once a month because I'm getting so much mail. But now I have way too much mail. I just did an episode, I think, 2 weeks ago, and I already have like a huge mountain of mail, like enough that could last 2 or 3 episodes of this show. And if I'm not doing another one until March, that mountain of mail is only going to double. And the problem is, as my channel grows and gets more popular and more people are watching this mailbag show, that's more people who want to send me mail. The more packages I get, like, what am I supposed to do? I know iDubbbz does a similar show. I've actually never watched it, truth be told. Everybody's always saying I rip off, you know, Filthy Frank and iDubbbz. I've never watched a video on iDubbbz's channel. I've never even watched a content cop, to be honest. Not that I'm, you know, prejudiced against iDubbbz. I don't care about it, really. I enjoyed his work on Filthy Frank's cake videos a lot. I thought he did a splendid job having cancer in those videos, but I've never watched those. So go ahead and say I'm ripping it off, but I've never watched it. But I know he does like a mail show where people send him mail, and my question is, like, he has what, like 4 million subscribers? How the fuck does he do it? How does he just like skip it? Does he throw most of it away? How does he even open all that mail on the show? There's no way. Like, there's no possible way, you know. Like, so I'm wondering what I'm gonna do. What does he do? Because the only option would be like, what? Film the show more often, but once a month is already too much, I think, and that's what I'm sticking to. Because I don't want my channel to be half mail shows. Like, I'm okay with it being like 20% the mailbag show, doing it once a month. But doing it like every week, that's way too fucking much. No way. There's no way I would want to do that. That's a terrible idea. So what do I do, folks? How do I handle this? Do I just make every episode 50 fucking minutes long? I don't know. I don't know how to handle this. Hey, I got my YouTube award in the mail. What's it? The silver play button or the bronze play button or something. I got it hanging up on my wall now. It says, "Hey, Mumkey Jones, good job, you got 100,000 subscribers," and it has like a little trophy in it. And I know a lot of people think, oh, that's worthless. Oh, how embarrassing. You hung that up on your wall. But truth be told, I've never won an award in my entire life. I've never been deserving of anything. I think other than certificates for being on the honor roll or whatever the fuck, I've never won anything. So the fact that I actually earned something means a lot to me. I feel this weird thing I've never felt before. I think it's like, it almost resembles pride that I accomplished a goal that so many people strive for. And I did it. And I put in the work, I put in the effort, and I feel like I actually earned this dumb trophy saying I have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I don't know if I'll ever get to that million, but man, maybe I'm going to have to start earning more than 200 subs a day if I'm ever going to hit that point. But it did come in like a big old box that I accidentally cut when I was opening the package. So there's like a nice little, knife cut down the middle of it. And it came with this dumbass letter that I didn't even bother to read because it's just like a copy paste that everybody gets from, I think, Susan Wojcicki or some shit. Whoever the fuck is in charge of YouTube writes up this dumbass letter that says, "Oh, congrats, you did what every I got a subscriber." And I immediately threw it in the garbage, but then I thought, wait, no. Like, maybe somebody wants this. So I fished it out of the garbage. It's a little crumpled up. But if anybody wants, like, the YouTube award box and the letter, I can even sign them for you. Maybe I'll do, like, a Mumkey auction someday. Because I've got my closet is where I put all of my mailbag stuff, and it's getting full. Like, I have a finite amount of space for all the dumb shit people send me. So I think just to get rid of it, or to just have a good excuse to throw some of it away, I might do like a Mumkey auction one of these days and auction off all the stuff I don't want. And whatever doesn't get sold, I'll just throw in the garbage. So if you want to buy the official letter and the official box that only 40,000 other YouTubers have gotten, probably, or maybe closer to like 80,000. I don't know how many people have gotten this many subs. According to Social Blade, I'm in the top 40,000 most subscribed YouTube channels, but I have 164 right now. So at the 100,000, it's probably like almost 1 million people. I have no idea. Isn't that weird to think that like people with 1 million subscribers are still, like, at least these days, are considered literally who? Like back in my day, watching YouTube videos, somebody with 1 million subs, everybody knows who it is. Like, it's Fred, like everybody's heard of it. These days, there are so many channels with like 5 million views or 5 million subs that I've never heard of. That most people have never heard of. It's so weird, that you can have that kind of success these days and you're still like, nobody would even recognize you on the street. And finally, I think I've talked about most of the things I wanted to talk about, but I really quick want to talk about success and how success is relative. And I think that's important to understand because our good buddy Sai, you might have heard of this guy Sai. On his vlog channel, he put up this really retarded video about content, and it rubbed me the wrong way because it was so pretentious and gross. And he said he hates the word content because YouTube has made content become a meaningless thing, and that a true artist can never truly succeed on YouTube making the art that he wants to make because YouTube only encourages bad content And the only way to be successful on YouTube is to make bad content. And you can't make actual art on YouTube or else you'll fail. Don't you love it when people who only review and analyze other people's art consider themselves to be an artist? I'm not going to pretend anymore. Like, if the only thing you do is make reviews and make, list videos listing other people's art, or even analyzing somebody else's art, I'm not going to pretend that you're an artist anymore. You're not. You're an art critic. You're an art analyst. But unless you've made something yourself that isn't primarily focused on discussing somebody else's work, you're not a fucking artist. You're not a fucking artist, Sai. Sai, you've never made a piece of art in your life. All you've ever done is talk about things that other people made. And sure, you can put fancy editing into those videos, but it's just like a fancy review. I don't consider that to be art. Once you make something that is actually worthy of being criticized and analyzed in its own right, then maybe you can be an artist, Sai. Maybe. So the notion that you have some great artistic, and I'm saying artistic, not autistic, like you might assume when talking about Sai. The fact that you think you have some great artistic work in mind that you want to produce, but you just can't because the YouTube algorithm wouldn't let you do it. Oh. That's a terrible excuse. These people, these supposed great artists who are being held back, they always have that excuse of why they can't make the art. An artist isn't somebody who has a great idea. An artist is somebody who has a great idea and also the initiative and the drive to actually make it. You can daydream about your super great project all fucking day, but until you actually make it, Sai, you're not an artist. Don't act like you're above it by saying, oh, I hate YouTube content, it's all shit. As if you could actually make something that would be considered art. You have to prove it, Sai. You have to actually make something, and don't use this shitty excuse of, oh, YouTube doesn't support that kind of content to hold you back and prevent you from making it. It's embarrassing. And I want you to prove me wrong, Sai. I want you to make this grand artistic project that you have in mind, although I can almost guarantee that it's just analyzing some fucking harem anime, and it's not actually a piece of art at all. But I want you to make that project, Sai. Please prove me wrong. Please prove that you are capable of doing art. But I don't see it. I don't see it. If you've ever written a poem, if you've ever drawn a picture, if you've ever written a short story or a book, you're more of an artist than Sai. You're more of an artist than anybody on YouTube who just makes reviews and analyses. These people can pretend that they're great artists, but they're not. If you've made a song, then you're an artist. If you've reviewed a song, you're not. If you've made a short film, you're an artist. The art might not be good, but you're still an artist. If you've only reviewed films, or analyzed films, or reviewed anime and analyzed anime, you're not a fucking artist. You just talk about other people's art. Make something that is your own. Anyway, that's enough making fun of Sai. Let's talk about success, because he's all obsessed about success. And I imagine a lot of people are obsessed about success too, and they should be. But success needs to be relative, and it needs to change. You need to have a personal definition of what success means to you, these personal goals. And as you climb higher and higher up the ladder, you need to evaluate and change your definition of success in order to continue striving to be better. And the way I do that is, first of all, with view counts on videos. If a video of mine nowadays gets 40,000 views, I consider that video to be a success. A lot of videos don't reach that. A lot of videos do better. And those are what I would consider to be like a monumental success. It went far above the goal I had. Back in the day, roughly a year and a half ago, my goal was, if a video hits 5,000 views, that's a success. And again, like some videos did, some videos didn't. And as I've gotten better and better and grown, this definition of success has changed. It went from 5,000 being success to 40,000. Soon it'll be 50,000 and so on and so forth. So just because you know, on your YouTube channel, let's say you're getting like 50 views per video, don't think that you're a failure because you're getting 50 views and other people are getting, 500,000 views in a day. Like for you, 50 views per video might actually be pretty good. Like just evaluate your averages and maybe 50 is pretty good for you. And then maybe you can, as you grow, you can change it to like, okay, now if I get 100 views on a video, that's success from where I am right now. You can't let your definition of success be the top of the mountain. Take it 20 yards at a time. Success will be if you make it to the next cliff, not if you make it all the way to the top immediately. And I think I've ranted on long enough. I don't even know if anybody's still listening to this one. I got to go through and edit out a few pauses and a few nose sniffs because my allergies and possible sickness are still lingering. So if there's any of that still in the video that I missed, please ignore them retroactively. And I'll see you next time. We'll see what I got to talk about next week. It's been a great week for me. Lots of things got, finished and worked on, and I got 2 videos that I'm very happy with up on the main channel. So I'll see you next time with more Talk Time with Mumkey.